Hey, and welcome back to our Why in the World Would You Ever Bother with the Book of Numbers devotional series that we're working on here a little bit. We're probably nearing the end a little bit of what all we want to cover. We took a week off for Thanksgiving because we wanted to give you guys time to watch the Thanksgiving Eve service. We didn't want to bombard you with a ton of content. So I'm hoping everyone had a great Thanksgiving and was able to enjoy themselves. So today's why in the world bother with Book of Numbers is we're going to kind of be working off of a Lifeway, a Crossway article, and just talking about unbelief, stubborn unbelief. And I love what they have here. They have the generation of the Exodus saw the plagues of God against Egypt. They directly experienced the wonders that broke Pharaoh's oppressions by which they were redeemed from bondage. And then throughout the Bible include the words unbelieving, stubborn, and stiff-necked. That generation's remarkable faithlessness is especially highlighted in the first half of the book of Numbers. So a reason to read Numbers is it's about unbelief. And I really think unbelief is a huge Christian struggle that we do not talk about enough. And so again, I got my whiteboard here, so we're going to throw up our theta as our little symbol that we use to represent God, so we're not drawing God. And so imagine if you follow the Exodus story, and we have to get the people out of Egypt, God defeats the Egyptian Parthenon. So I guess we'll just draw a couple pyramids, right? So the Egyptians believed in a handful of gods. That's why there's multiple plagues. Each plague is like a defeating of a different god. There's the plague of darkness, they had their sun god, that type of thing. So in the story, the Israelite God defeats the Egyptian god, and imagine being the group of people who are watching this go down and who are benefiting from this. You think that you're going to have the best faith, the best love of God. Woof, that hurts bad. The best love of God because you watched this happen, this take place. But the book of Numbers is literally chock full of unbelief and faithlessness and rebellion. So these people, they get out of Egypt. So, gosh, I don't know what shape Egypt was back in ancient Egypt. So they leave Egypt. They get out into this desert area. We've talked about this a lot. They're wandering in the desert. And while they're doing this, the whole time that they're wandering around in this desert, they're getting angry at God. The book of Numbers is just filled with story after story after story. And if you are having just witnessed a miracle and then turning around and you're needing more miracles, that's unbelief. That's a huge struggle that these guys are dealing with. And to see that play out in action, to see a struggle of sin that we all deal with play out in action is an amazing reason, I would say, to read the book of Numbers. And so if you're in SYG, we talked about this a little bit the other 2 Sundays ago, but it's always good to hear it again. And if you're not and you're hearing this for the first time, that's great too. So why am I pulling this out? I have 2 kind of practical applications for you guys. Is first of all, I want you to take this and say, okay, if you are struggling in unbelief, I want you to take this as some comfort that you're not this monster. That it's okay to be a Christian and be struggling with unbelief. There are literally, our Bible teaches that the people who saw the Exodus, even they struggled with unbelief. So the first thing, take some comfort, oh boy, whenever I write, in knowing that you're not alone. You're not alone. This is a real struggle, and talk to other believers you know about it. You know what I mean? So use that as the first part of this video. Know that you're not alone. And then the second thing, I think you need to really apply this, and myself included, as why we should be doing devotions. Wow. So I define devotion as anything that you're doing to spend time with God on your own time. So that can be reading, it can be praying, it can be a devotion book, any of those types of things, because it'd be pretty cocky of us to say, well, I have great faith, I don't need to do a devotion. No, the very Israelites who witnessed the plagues and were delivered out of Egypt and were a part of that amazing redemption, they turned around and had trouble with their unbelief. So I think you need to take it as comfort, right? No, you are not alone, but then you need to take it as a challenge and say, like, wow, okay, I need to be doing devotional work. I need to be spending time with God because this is how easy it is to get caught up in unbelief, right? That's what I wanted. The unbelief is so easy. So, because it's everywhere. So those are our 2 points that I hope you guys pull out of our video. And it's just, again, another reason, crack open that book of Numbers, read it, and see how the Israelites process their unbelief. Thanks for watching, and we will have another prayer challenge on Thursday, and we'll be back with Numbers on Tuesday.